Prepositional phrases are groups of words that show where or when. So here we have prepositions are words that show where. But a preposition doesn't normally sit by itself. You wouldn't just say that the book is on, because you would want to know what, Daniel? If I said the book is on, what would you want to know? Yeah, what's it on? On what? On the shelf, on the desk, on Kevin's head, whatever. Wherever it could be. It's a notebook, not a book. No. There you go. They also show where. Or I'm sorry, where and when. So examples are at, during, after, or before. These show when something happened. Prepositions show where and when. Prepositional phrases are those groups of words. It adds more detail to it. They show where or when, but they have a grouping. Just like when we had noun phrases, we had our noun and then we had our modifiers that went in front of it. We also have groups of words for our prepositional phrases. In a prepositional phrase, you can have 3 types of words. Now you may have more than 3 words, but you're going to have 3 types of words. You're going to have the preposition itself, you're going to have the modifier, and then you're going to have what's called the object of the preposition. So when we said earlier the book is on, and you wanted to know what is it on, that thing that it is on is the object of the preposition. So it's on the shelf. Shelf is always a noun. Whatever the object of the preposition is going to be is always going to be a noun. So we have 2 examples here. On the roof. On is a preposition. It tells you where something is. Roof is the object of the preposition. It tells you what it's on. It answers the question, where or what is it on? And then finally, you have the modifier the in the middle. To tell you a specific roof or which roof. Add more to the sentence. In our second example, during a ball game, during tells you we're talking about time, so when something happened. And ball game tells you essentially when it happened, so during a ball game. A is the modifier. What? What does that have to do with prepositions? Oh, they're in 3 now. They're undefeated. Okay, guys. Alright, we're moving on. Everybody got this?
Yep.
Good enough? Alright. So, we have a couple examples here. Watch our little birdie. He's going to fly around, and every time he flies around, you're going to see a new prepositional phrase. So, bird is on the tree, in the cage, between the flowers, under the tree, on the tree, in the cage, between the flowers. What we see here is we have a way of talking about where the bird is. It helps us understand different things about the positioning of the bird. How does the bird relate to the tree, or to the cage, or to the flowers? Where is our particular bird? And we use prepositional phrases to tell us this.
Bird.
So we have some words up here. Some are prepositions, some are not prepositions. And you come up and circle some prepositions. Sure, you're the first hand, so I'm gonna grab one. Between. Okay. Enrique, go grab one. Away. From. That's actually not true. Through. Through is a preposition. Zach. Why? Before. Excellent. Anna, go grab one. Into. Kevin. There are, I think, 3 left. I counted 3.
I don't think that's one. There's 3.
Courtney.
Is that one?
Huh?
Is that over there? Yeah. What's a big one?
We'll find out.
Let's go. It's all good.
From.
There's 2 more. Jackson, go.
Jack. Two. 1 month. Courtney, I got this. Because I would believe everything Courtney told me.
Probably
Alright. Let's check them out.
Orderly. Right? No. Mine was right.
There we go. Those are our prepositions.
That's cool.
Through. Through. Of, between, to, into, before, away, and from. Now sometimes you can combine these, right? You can combine these together sometimes in a prepositional phrase. Like you might say away from, right?
Away to.
Or away to.
Into.
We have into already.
Into the wide door.
Okay. So you could combine these two, but these are some examples of prepositions. What kind of word is, let's see here, what kind of word is orderly?
Adjective.
No. Jalen. Adverb. It has ly, right? Adverb. What kind of word is happy?
Adjective.
Adjective. What about orange?
Adjective.
Adjective. What about spin?
Verb.
Verb. What about walk?
Verb.
Verb. Smiling?
Verb. Adverb.
It depends on how it's used. It could be a verb and it could be an adverb. It's one of those tricky ones. It could be a verb and it could be an adverb. Okay. So what we're looking at here, we have a couple sentences. We need to figure out whether we're talking about a preposition or an adverb. At the park, I watched the children play. Can anybody identify where the prepositional phrase is in this room? At the park, I watched the children play. Enrique, where is it?
At the park.
At the park, correct.
These are easy.
At the park.
I like prepositions.
At the park. So this is a prepositional phrase. We have a preposition at, and when you say at what? The park. So that's the end of the phrase. Number 2, parents sat on the benches and chatted with one another. Sat.
On the benches.
Close.
On the benches.
On the benches.
Oh, that thing.
Anything else in there?
Yeah.
Sure. Close.
One another. One another.
Nope.
One another.
Nope. Very good.
With one another.
With one another. With one another. So, because you can take these parts out, right? Our phrases you can take out. So you can say parents sat and chatted, right? That's what they sat. Where did they sit? On the benches.
On the bench.
And they chatted. Who did they chat with? One another.
One
They
another.
lawyers.
Number 3,
Around. Wait,
boys chased each other around. Do we have a prepositional phrase in here?
No.
No.
Oh.
Do we have a prepositional phrase?
No.
We don't have a prepositional phrase, so what do we have? What is at the end of this?
Around.
Or what do we have? Around. In this case, around, sometimes the words that we can use for prepositions can also be adverbs. They can work as adverbs. In this case, around is an adverb. It's describing either a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. What word is around modifying? Yeah. Chased. It's telling you where they chased them, right? So this is an adverb. Notice how it's easy to notice because it doesn't have a phrase with it, right? It's all by itself. You're not going to see prepositions all by themselves. They should always come in a phrase. So let's look at number 4. Ducks waddled along the creek bank. Do we have a prepositional phrase?
Yeah.
And what is it?
The creek bank.
Close.
I don't know.
Courtney. Along the creek bank. Is our prepositional phrase. Along the creek bank. Make sure you include the preposition. A prepositional phrase is always going to begin with a preposition and end with a noun. Alright, number 5, the ball bounced down the slide. Kevin. Down the slide, correct. Down the slide. Prepositional phrase, right? We have down the slide. Tells you what it did and where it went. Number 6, a toddler toppled over and cried. Do we have a prepositional phrase?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Enrique, what is it?
Toppled over.
Nope.
No.
Dan, what is it?
Water.
Here's my question. Alright, I'm going to underline this for a minute, and then we're going to examine it. What do we have at the beginning of this phrase?
Adverb. Verb. Verb.
What is this phrase right here? What is Jalen?
Preposition.
Okay, we have a word that could be a preposition or it could be an adverb,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What do we have at the end of this phrase? A verb, right? Cried is a verb. So, if over and cried starts with what we think is a preposition, but ends with a verb, is this a prepositional phrase?
No.
No, because all prepositional phrases end in nouns. So this is an adverb. It's an adverb. It's just the one word over. It doesn't have a phrase that goes along with it, so it's not a prepositional phrase, just an adverb. Okay? So we have some more examples of prepositional phrases. This is our little caterpillar, where's our hungry caterpillar? Story my children love. And it's eating its way through an apple. Currently it's above the apple. And then it's on the apple. It's through the apple, inside the apple, going up the apple, beside the apple, below the apple, going down the apple, and it's within the apple. All of these, you can see them underlined.
Little leaves on
They
it.
already on the side.
Little leaves on it. You took your apple.
Those are all examples of prepositions. And there are a ton of prepositions in the world. There are a ton. I don't even know exactly how many there were. I believe there are, I should say. I believe that, I was going to say that were in the book last year, but I stopped myself. I believe that I had one or two groups last year in their music video count up how many there were. And there were like over 180 just in the book. So there's a lot. There are a lot of prepositions. So they're going to help you tell the big things that it's going to be impossible to memorize all of them. But a good way to identify them is to ask yourself where and when. What do they tell you? Also, if you notice that each one of these phrases has not only a preposition, but it also has a modifier and an object of the preposition. It reminds me of a very old joke. Because prepositions need modifiers. Prepositions need modifiers. A guy just recently graduated from high school, got a scholarship to attend Harvard. Everybody knows Harvard, right? Extremely prestigious university. The guy goes to Harvard, and on his very first day on campus, he's a little bit lost. And he's trying to figure out where things are. So he stops a guy that's walking around. It looks like he's probably a senior. He says, "Excuse me, sir. Could you tell me where the library is at?" And the guy goes, "Here at Harvard, we don't end our sentences with prepositions. Your prepositions need objects." And the guy steps back a little bit and says, I'm sorry. Could you tell me where the library is at, jerk?" Prepositions always need an object. You should never end a sentence with a preposition. If you do, it's no longer a preposition, it's an adverb. Prepositions always have to have an object, thus creating a phrase. Now, once you have a prepositional phrase, those prepositional phrases can be used as adjective or adverb phrases. So on Friday, when we kept looking at all of our adjective and adverb phrases, almost all of them, nearly all of them, I'd say probably 99% of them, began with a preposition. They were prepositional phrases. Adverb and adjective phrases are types of prepositional phrases. They have prepositions at the beginning of them. So if you can understand prepositions, you can more easily identify where they will show up in a sentence, so that you can more easily identify which kind they are. So hopefully, once we have an idea like that, we can go back and finish our work from yesterday. So we have a fun thing to do. We're going to, what I want you to do really quickly, in your notes, I know, we actually did this entire, everything we've done so far, we did this entire thing last year. That's why I pulled it back out to review it, because we did all of this last year. We just forgot it. So, this is what I want you to do. In your notes, there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there are 10 things up there. There's a sun, a tree, a deer, a stream, a plane, a car, a balloon, a butterfly, a gate, and a dude. A guy, a person, a man, a minor. I want you to, what I want you to do in your notes, I want you to come up with a sentence using a prepositional phrase. It has to use a prepositional phrase describing where each one of those objects are in relation to the cabin.
What?
So the cabin is your object. So I've already given you the object of the preposition for each one. You just need to tell me where each one of these items is located in relation to this. Okay? So you have a sun, a tree, a deer, a stream, a plane, a car, a balloon, a butterfly, a gate, and a guy, a kid, a dude, an hombre. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Does it have to be logical?
It has to be reasonable.
Okay.
When you surrender, do you have to like, the sun was above the heaven?
You have to write a full sentence. So you can't just write a prepositional phrase. You have to write a full sentence. Which, if you write, the sun was above the cabin, that is a full sentence. It has a subject, it has a verb, it has a prepositional
The
phrase,
sun was shining over the fence.
but that's in relation to the cabin. Everything needs to be in relation to the cabin. Where are they in relation to the cabin? Good. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 objects up there, so you have to write one sentence for each one. Just one sentence for each one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that deer.
It's a deer. There's a sun, a tree, a deer, a stream, a plane, a car, a balloon, a butterfly, a gate, and a kid. Underground stream.
Whatever.
It or gentlemen, you should not be talking to each other. How are we? Is everybody have their 10 up, the 10 down?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you are not finished, continue your right. But I need volunteers to come up and display their skills of prepositional phrase writing and move things on the board. Jalen, go move.
Are you trying to
Pick
act
anyone.
like those Harvard people now?
No, I'm talking
Or Harry
fine.
Potter?
Here at Harvard.
We do not do
Alright, what is your prepositional phrase?
The person was inside the house.
Oh, you just put them like,
Put him in the window.
there you go. You're kind of seeing it. There you go. The person is inside the house. The person is inside
The cabin.
Braden, go grab one.
Don't take mine.
I said the sun is above the cabin.
The sun is above the cabin. Excellently done. Courtney, go grab one.
Oh, look at the sun.
Beautiful.
I know, it's kind of a funny background to have.
There's two suns.
It's on Tatooine.
Yeah.
So there's two suns.
I put the tree.
Quiet, please.
I put the tree was beside the house.
The tree is beside the house.
Tiny tree.
Very small.
He's just now growing.
Danny, go grab one. More like a shrub.
Yeah.
You stole mine.
Deer was cooking inside the stove.
Inside the stove?
There's
Oven.
no stove in there.
The
The
cabin.
stove is the top of the oven.
Yes.
The
So
oven.
it's an oven.
Inside the oven.
Okay. Alright. Emma, go grab one.
Your tastes good extra much wrapped in bacon. But I mix bacon in it. It's like,
I prefer it on stovetop, sauteed with some mushrooms.
So it was below.
Alright, quiet guys. What was your... The airplane was under the cabin. So apparently your crash was buried.
It's a secret airfield.
Oh, it's a secret airfield. Oh, it's like the Blackbird in X-Men. Underneath the... Kevin, go grab it.
The house just goes like, fiberglass. I have one of the last five pieces. And the house just goes like this. You know, the house just goes like
Alright, guys, quiet down. Kevin, what's your brother's name? The car was in front of the house.
That man ain't ever gonna
Alright.
get in that car.
Alright.
Stream is behind the house.
The stream is behind the house. Excellent. Drink it.
Oh, man.
Got 3 left.
The balloon was high, no, was let go high above the sun. The sun. Oh,
What was the prepositional phrase though?
above.
Above. High above the house. Okay. Oh, the cabin. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Good. You move yours when we get back.
And the house was like.
We're gonna finish this up when we get back. We'll talk a little bit more about it. We got 3 more slides.
Butterfly.
I know. Did you have a good weekend? Where'd you go hiking? Oh, where is it?
Hi, Bailey. Why'd you put the plane under the ground? It should be flying above the balloon and the sun. Oh yeah, I said I'd like to be in last.
What do you want? What do you want? Okay, fine. Yeah.
John, you can have.
I just feel like Kristen Sophie.
Yeah. No, that's true. No, Anna dropped it.
You're
You want a man to send from you?
my mom. And I make sure she makes.
I want something.
All right, guys, have a seat. Your bell rang. You should be gone.
What is it, watermelon?
All right. Joe, go ahead and move your guy.
I'm cold. Yeah.
Lively. And what is your prepositional phrase?
The fence was next to the house.
The fence was next to the house. All right, one last person.
The butterfly.
Next.
Oh, she wanted the butterfly. I wanted the butterfly.
Sorry.
The
What?
butterfly was on the
Jacqueline.
The butterfly was flying above the balloon.
The butterfly was flying above the balloon. Very nice.
Hey, can I make it higher?
All right,
You can reach it.
guys.
I will. Jump. Dude, you're not funny.
I love how pretty much everything's logical except Emma's. With the point underneath the house.
So here we go. We have, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you guys are finished, we can keep going. Whenever you're finished. Oh, wait. Okay. Once again, we have a list of prepositions and not prepositions. Some of these words are prepositions, some of them are not prepositions. You need to move them into the correct, not so spinny wheels of doom. Brooke, go grab one.
But why are they spinning?
I don't know. Didn't want to spend today.
Because they killed too many things.
Under
Under the sea.
is a preposition, correct. Jalen.
Go Jimmy.
That's why I'm here. Desk, not a preposition, correct. Some more. Kevin. Go three.
He's went like 3 times.
On what?
I wasn't right up there once. I've been up there so
Guys,
many times. It's a-
over preposition.
I think it's a-
Logan.
Now he's not gonna call me though.
Why did it call
What do we got? By is a preposition. Jacqueline. Prepositions.
you? Which was never.
Bed is not a preposition. Anna.
Yeah, you go, girl.
I am not. I have
Door
to do with like.
is not a preposition.
Door is correctly not a preposition. Danny, what do you want? Out is a preposition, correct. John, go grab one.
Okay, sir.
In is a preposition. Other brother. What if I was mean? I'm not mean.
You're nice person.
Barn. Barn is not a preposition. I think we have 4 left. 4 left. Enrique, grab one.
I have 9 horses in that.
Are there any mean pictures? House. That's your. Oh, house. Where's it going? Not a preposition. Put it there and find out. Hey, good job. Christian, grab one.
I have 3 horses.
Are you kidding?
No, go sit down. What word did you have? I'm sorry. What was that? Near? Okay. Stop. Julia, go grab a preposition. Then you side of the room that's not talking about things, not talking about other teachers and things. Live cast. Around is a preposition. Thank you very much. Emma, go grab one. Guys.
What if Miss Miller watches the feed and then she hears you, Danny? She really used to hurt. Danny. Oh yeah.
Behind is a preposition. Yep.
You're
Behind,
not
please. Alright, we have 2 more. Whenever you guys are done. We'll start. Actually.
Enrique, you're done. Step.
Hill and corner are our last 2. Courtney. Hill is not a preposition. Final, last one. Jack, go get it.
I know, thank you. Okay. Quarter. Quarter is a preposition.
Corner is not a preposition.
On the corner of the screen.
Corner is a noun. Hold on, wait. Jackson brings up a very important point. corner tells you where something is, right? On the corner. But notice what you need in front of that. On the corner. On is the preposition that tells you where. Corner is the object of the preposition.
The house is the corner of. The house is the corner of.
No, it should be on the corner of.
No, but it doesn't have to.
Yes, it does.
But it sounds right either way.
No, it doesn't.
Corner.
No, it
The
doesn't.
house.
Enrique, you're wrong. It
Oh,
doesn't.
you just said the house
It
is
doesn't.
on the corner.
The house on the corner, yes. The house is the corner, yes. But the house corner,
The
no.
house is the
I don't know. Because remember, Enrique, remember, we're not looking for words that answer the question of where. We're looking for prepositions. So if you said the house is on the corner, that would, or the house is on the corner, you still have on the corner.
door is not.
Probably all of them.
So I'm probably all students like you, so.
Okay. Guys, I don't know why we're talking about this whole thing. I don't know why you want to spend time talking about this. Okay. We have, I think, alright, let's see, are we gonna do this one? I don't remember what this one is. Oh yeah, this one I want to do, but we're gonna do this one a different way. I'm gonna pull this one up, you guys are gonna tell me where it goes. So, remember we have prepositions. Prepositions start out our prepositional phrase. We have our modifier, which is normally like an adjective, normally a type of adjective. It could be an article, it could be a regular adjective, it could be a combination of the two. You can have multiple modifiers in a prepositional phrase. And then you're going to finally have your object of the preposition. The noun that the thing is talking about, that your preposition is talking about. So let's start with the. Where are we putting the? Modifier. Alright, shoe.
Object.
Object. Hill. Object. The, again. Modifier. Under. Preposition. We actually have our first prepositional phrase. Under the shoe. Through. Through the hill. Ankle. The. Modifier. My.
No. Yeah, object.
Oh, where do we think it's going? Modifier. Over.
Preposition.
Preposition.
Over the
Over the ankle. Door.
object.
Object.
My door.
Slide. Her.
First slide.
Down.
Preposition.
Down my door.
Around.
So wait, so it's down my door?
Okay. So let's check here real quick. Should we check? Everything all right? Oh, we got them all right. Good job. Nice job. All right.
Wait, perfect?
No, we're gonna skip.
Yay.
We're gonna skip this one.
My team.
And,
3, 2, 1.
all right. So, how many of you guys feel like prepositions, compared to what we were doing earlier, are way easier than what we did on Friday? Prepositional phrases, you can identify a prepositional phrase. Raise your hand if you can honestly say, I can identify a prepositional phrase. I can find one and stuff.
I
can find it. Okay.
Prepositional.
So now I want to go really quickly. I want to go back to what we were doing on Friday and see if some of these are just a little bit easier. I don't know if they're going to be fully easier or just a little bit, but I just want to kind of look at them really quickly. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on them today. We're going to come back more to them tomorrow because we do have some literature stuff that we need to do. get into literature, we're gonna, I know some of you didn't get a chance to finish up your cause and effect sheet, your conflict sheet. And I know some of you turned some in, and I'm gonna hand those actually back to you, and I'm gonna talk to the entire class about some notes that I wanna make on that, on the sheet from that. I think, did I talk to you guys about that sheet already? No, I didn't talk to this first sheet about it. Okay. Alright, so this is what we were doing on Friday, and we got down to the very end, and we all of a sudden were having a whole lot of problems because it was very, very confusing. And that's okay. Sometimes things can be that way. They get confusing, and we have to change stuff up. We were. No, this is the part. We did these, right? These were not bad.
1 and 6.
It was
The cost of a new bridge.
these were the ones that were difficult.
We already did
We already did them though.
I know we did them already. We went all the way through them, right?
We did
Yeah.
that, we did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't.
We had this next. These are the ones we didn't talk about at all.
We did
Okay?
10.
Yeah.
Or 10.
No, we
We
didn't.
didn't do 10?
No, we didn't.
Alright, so let's go back and we'll do 10 and then we'll take a look at some of these. Alright, Helpa's cousin from New Orleans waited in the living room. Can we spot a prepositional phrase in here?
Yeah.
Taylor, what is it?
In the living room?
In the living room is a prepositional phrase. Okay? Can we spot any other ones in here? Courtney. From New Orleans.
Orleans. Whatever.
From New Orleans. Now, these prepositional phrases modify certain words. So what word does in the living room modify? Enrique, are you not raising your hand?
Which, wait.
What word does in the living room modify?
How about cousin? Waited.
Modifies waiting. Right? Because it tells you where she waited. Where is she waiting? In the living room. So it tells you where. From New Orleans. Does from New Orleans, what word does from New Orleans modify? Great. No, that would be in the living room. Good.
Cousin.
Cousin. It modifies cousin. It tells you where the cousin is from. So, let's start from the very beginning. From New Orleans modifies cousin. What type of word is cousin? It's a noun. So from New Orleans is what kind of phrase? Adjective phrase. In the living room modifies what kind of word? Jan?
A verb.
A verb. Waited is a verb. So what type of phrase is waited in the living room, Dan? Adverb phrase. Does this already seem a little bit easier than on Friday? Yes? Alright, good. Okay, so let's go look at these next ones. The cost of the new bridge went beyond the previous estimate. What is the first? Are there prepositional phrases in here? And if so, what is one? Jacqueline. The cost of is not a prepositional phrase. Christian. Of the new bridge is a prepositional phrase. Of the new bridge. Are there any other ones in this sentence? Danny?
Beyond the previous estimate.
Beyond the previous estimate. What word does of the new bridge modify? What word does of the new bridge modify? Enrique?
Coast. The coast.
Cost.
Cost. Oh, I thought I meant coast.
Cost.
Whoops.
Yes. It's a complete sentence. The cost went. It leaves you with a question. Technically it's a complete clause. It's an independent clause. But it has a subject, it has a predicate. The cost went. Went where? That's what we need the prepositional phrase for. So the cost of the new bridge. So what kind of word is cost? What kind of word is cost? You're going to want to be able to label both of them.
Okay, so cost, wait, so what's the first again?
What kind of word is cost?
Um,
What part of speech is it?
and
Everyone help me? Good.
No.
A noun. The noun. It's the person, place, and thing. The thing. A noun. So if cost is a noun, what type of phrase is of the new bridge? If it modifies a noun, what type of phrase of the new bridge? Courtney? No. Megan? Adjective. Adjectives modify nouns. Adjectives. So our next phrase, beyond the previous estimate. Beyond the previous estimate, what word does that modify? Alex, do you know what word it modifies? No? Comes right before it. Went, correctly. Correct. If you ask where did it go, where it went where? Beyond the previous estimate. So it modifies when. So what kind of word is when, Alex? A verb. So if this is a verb, and this phrase modifies a verb, what kind of phrase is this? Adverb. Exactly. See, you knew and you didn't even know. Number 12. The skateboard was too expensive for Lee. What is is there a prepositional phrase? Christian, what's a prepositional phrase?
Too expensive?
No, was is a verb, so it's not going to be that. It's not going to start with was.
There isn't.
Brooke?
Poorly.
For Lee. Yeah.
Oh.
For Lee. Now remember, you don't always have to have a modifier. Sometimes you're not going to have one. In this case, you don't. For Lee has a preposition and an object. Those are the two things you have to have. You have to have a preposition, you have to have an object in order for it to be a prepositional phrase. You can go without a modifier. You have to have a preposition and an object. Yes?
Like I don't get how for is like where.
Or when.
It's telling you, it's, the best way to describe it is like when you give a Christmas present or any type of present, you write on it for or to so-and-so from someone else. It tells where that package is going. So this is telling you where the expense is going.
Oh.
Who's it too expensive for? Alright. Where is the expense? Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the skateboard was too expensive for Lee. For Lee describes what helps modify what word? For Lee helps modify what word? Yeah?
Too expensive?
Just expensive. Just expensive. And what type of word is expensive? Logan.
An adjective?
An adjective. So if expensive is an adjective, what type of phrase is for Lee? Huh? Yes, an adverb. Okay. Once again, does this seem easier now that we know the prepositional phrase? That we identify prepositions? Awesome.
You should
All right.
tell it as a prepositional phrase.
Well, I taught prepositional phrases last year. I figured you guys would remember them. So
I don't have it. Oh, it's almost.
you got well, that's the thing is you gotta learn.
Alright.
All right, we're gonna come back and talk more about this tomorrow. We're gonna put this away for today. So go ahead and put away grammar for today.
Close.
If you still have your conflict cause and effect sheet, please take that out. Take a couple minutes to finish it. I'm gonna pass it back to these. I want to talk to everybody about something, and then a bunch of you are gonna have to go back and make some corrections.
I didn't turn it in.
I stopped checking them because of what I want to talk about. So I started noticing a huge trend. Yes, I know. Okay. Here's the deal. Ladies and gentlemen, between my two classes, as I was reading through these cause and effect conflict sheets, I started to notice a trend. And it was a trend that was a little bit troubling for me. And so I wanted, before I could continue to grade them and mark everybody's paper up, make them do rewrites, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about it. There was enough disparity, disparity, that's the right word. There's enough disparity which means differences, between the two, between so many of these sheets that I got in, that I actually questioned for a short amount of time whether or not we all read the same story. I was really confused, because I knew what story I read, and I knew what stuff happened in the story that I read. And I was really confused by some of the stuff that I read in people's things, so I was really a little bit confused as to what had happened. I was also a little let down in how vague some of the descriptions were. And I don't mean that you need to include every single detail of the story. You don't need to do that. But there are certain important parts of the story that you do need to include. Like I saw a couple of sheets that in the initial main conflict would have something to the effect of rats get on island, people hide in tower, and that was it. And I thought it was, well, they're just rats. Who cares about some rats? I mean, why would you be afraid of that many rats? You know, like if that's all you're gonna put, and actually, John, you're exactly right. I wonder how do the rats have rabies? Are they crazy mutant ninja rats? I don't. Did like a whole army of Master Splinters get onto the island? I don't know, but they're evil Master Splinters. I don't know what's going on because your description is way too vague. I don't understand what's going on in the story. So there's a lot that precedes that. There's a lot of things that go into the story that happened before that. So even if you told me that crazy man-eating rats showed up on the island, I may ask, well, why are they man-eating rats? Why are they so crazy man-eating rats? So you need to tell me a little bit more. And then, so that, them being trapped by the rats and trying to survive, that's basically the main conflict. Yes, that is the main conflict. So if you nailed that, that's great. But you do need to give me some more information about the main conflict. What if the main conflict, for those of you who have me in world history already, we did this. We had our sheet where we talked about there was one thing in the center which was our major historical event. Our thing in the center. Our major historical event. And multiple things caused this, and multiple things were the effect of this. If we wanted to say that our main conflict, our thing in the center, was that they were trapped in the house, or if they were trapped in the lighthouse by a bunch of man-eating rats, if that's the main thing that goes in there, what are the causes that lead up to that? Why are they there in the first place? Why are these rats there in the first place? Why are these rats man-eating rats? Those are all questions that I had. I actually went back and read the story again. Because I was really confused. I thought I missed something, or I thought I read too much. And so, you got to give me a little bit more detail other than just the rats. There's rats on the island, and they're scared of the rats. As we move into the next section, that next big section, not the two middle sections where we talk about the type of conflict. The next big section where we're starting to resolve the conflict. There is one moment in the story where the conflict begins to be resolved. Does anybody remember what the moment is? Where all of a sudden you know they're about to be saved, or there's a possibility they might be saved. Right?
There was a ship close to shore that saw them in America.
Before that. Because they would have seen them without this.
They didn't turn on the light.
They didn't turn on the light. That's the first step in that next category. I'm giving that to you already. In that big category, when they decided not to turn on the light, that began, that was the first cause in a series of cause and effects that led to them getting off of the island. In the final category should be a pretty short category, because it just sort of talks about what happened to them after they got off the island. So when you get to that category, if you just tell me, one guy died, one guy went insane, one guy went back to work on the island. Why? Why would you go back to an island that's still infested with large man-eating rats? But if you don't tell me that in your outline, I'm not going to know that they killed all the rats. The detail that I need to know. Why would he go back there? All by himself without his two friends into an island where there's a bunch of man-eating rats. So you need to be descriptive. You don't have to include every single detail of the story, but you have to get the events in there so that they line up. So if you are missing information from what I just got done talking about, go back and finish filling it out. Add the stuff in that you need. If you have not finished yet, continue working and filling things out. If you haven't started yet, was there anybody who hasn't fully read the story? Okay. If you haven't started yet, I'll have you guys start reading. You guys can read the story and fill in anything you can. Yes. No, it tells you why. Story tells you. Give me literature book. Anybody remember what page this starts on?
32.
32. It's called Three Skeleton Key. Starts on page 4. The story starts on page 4. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, make correction.
Rats could fly, so they almost got in the windows. I would probably.
There's only one real type of conflict. I mean, there's one major type of conflict. Your universal together, there's only one major. Guys, get to work. There's just one main conflict. There's cause and effect. Yeah, because that's, I mean, look, this is what it says. Describing cause and effect. Describing your, putting in the conflict and describing. Guys, alright. Whoa, what's all the chatting going on? You should get to work on your thing, because you still have an entire column to do, and you have questions to write. You have a lot of work to do. I would get to work on that before you worry about it. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. No, not that. Quiet down. Mm-hmm.
Would it be man because they're like facing rats, or would it be
Well, are rats people?
No.
No?
Be nature.
Yeah, they don't take on any like human characteristics, so. Have a wonderful day, guys. See you tomorrow.
Lunchtime.
See you upon the morrow.
Yeah, so I got it.
Upon the morrow.
I am lucky.